Everybody, welcome to the third of the Fundamentals of Business class. I'm your professor, Professor Goldstein, taking a sip because I'm still sick. Been on antibiotics. Nothing seems to work. Been to two doctors. Nothing seems to be working. But I am here for you, and I've heard from many of you. Some of you are still not communicating with me. And unfortunately, that will lead to you being dropped from the class if you do not communicate with me. And I really want all 28 students in the class to uh, respond to my emails, respond to my videos, respond to their assignments, and complete the class. This is not a hard class, guys. Take me. Go take this class. You'll get a decent grade, and you can move on at Kingsborough. So don't not respond. All I'm asking for is an email from you with a little bit of a paragraph about your past in business. Now, I am going to give you a second assignment, and that's going to be based upon the lemonade stand and what I'm going to be teaching you today. It's going to be a full page typed, but it's basically the same type of thing that I was doing before with you, which is that it's not hard. It's just you're going to make up your own lemonade stand, and it won't be due until next week, and it should be very easy. I'm also going to give you your first reading assignment, which is page 2 through. Oh boy. Easy. I want to make it easy for you, but it's kind of boring. Page 2 through 11 of the book, The Foundations of Business, by Pride, Hughes, and Kapoor. So page 2 through 11, which is a basic introduction to the world of business, and this is it's difficult because this is as some of you understand, it's an asynchronous class. It's not a synchronous class. So, for those who don't understand, because I've seen some emails, and some of you may be new to Kingsborough, and you may not understand what asynchronous, synchronous, in person means. It's this whole new world that we're living in post COVID, where asynchronous means that you don't actually get to interact with me except during office hours and via email. And even then, I try to keep it to a minimum because I'm not really supposed to. There are office hours, but you really could do office hours via the phone or by email. You don't necessarily have to speak directly to the person that you're dealing with. Then there is the synchronous classes, which are via Zoom, where a professor talks to a class that's supposed to be there at a specific time. Here you have no specific time for the classes. I have no specific time when I'm going to put up videos and not. I'm just, I'm supposed to put up a few classes a week. Even the classes themselves don't necessarily have to be 45 minutes, an hour, because there's no interaction that's going on between us. It's just me kind of speaking out to you right now, like I am right now in space. So it's a very strange world for me as well as for you, and I'm not so sure how it works in terms of if you benefit from it, but I know you do because a lot of you are very busy, and you lead very busy lives. You have children, families, jobs, other responsibilities in life, and this is, I hope, a way of you learning business. Now, we're just doing introduction to business. This is a basic business course. I don't go into the complications of business yet. That comes later on in your different things. You'll take different classes: accounting, marketing, business analysis, law, business law, all these different types of courses that will help you focus on different areas of business. This is a fundamental business, the building blocks of business, the basic stuff. That's why I'm dealing with a very basic thing, which is a lemonade stand. And as I spoke about in the last video, it's a sole proprietorship lemonade stand, meaning that it's one person who owns it. You can, if you want, get volunteers to help you with the lemonade stand, or you could hire someone to work with you at the lemonade stand, pay them a salary, or you can do it all by yourself. It's up to you. But that's what a sole proprietorship is. You own the business yourself, and there are, as I said before, both positives and negatives to owning your own lemonade stand. And when I put up the assignment about the lemonade stand, you'll understand a little bit more about the positives and the negatives. One of the positives is obviously you make all the decisions. You are the person. You say, I want this sign blue, or I want this sign red. That's your choice. I want to hire this person. I want to fire this person. You don't have to consult with anybody else. You own the business. It is your choice who works there and who doesn't work there. You want to sell this product for this price, at this time, at this date. You want to market it a certain way. You want to sell it a certain way. That's all up to you. But there are negatives. One of the negatives is all the responsibility is yours. You could hire other people to do things for you, and many sole proprietorships do. By the way, there are sole proprietorships of businesses in the United States, of companies that you may or may not have heard of, that are not owned, they're not corporations, and they're not partnerships. These are businesses that are owned by one person or a family sometimes, that are not traded as stocks on the New York Stock Exchange or NASDAQ. They are not corporations. Other people, you can't buy into that business. But they are huge businesses, multi-billion-dollar businesses. But one person owns the business. These businesses are usually very quiet. You don't know a lot about these businesses because they don't trade. They don't have to divulge their information to the public. That's one of the great things about a sole proprietorship, is it ain't nobody's business but your own. How much money you make, how much things cost you. This is a private company, a sole proprietorship. You don't have to let anybody else know about what you do and don't do. So that's a very good thing for a sole proprietorship. The bad things for sole proprietorships, and there are bad things, which is like, God forbid something goes wrong. Somebody's coming into your store or uses one of your products and gets hurt. They could sue you, but not only sue you individually, but they could sue everything you have. They could take away everything you have. They could take away your home, your cars, your jewelry, whatever whatever you have in the bank. You become a person who is liable for any kind of problems. So I don't want this. I don't want to go too much into sole proprietorship. I'm going to go into it a little bit more, but I want to go into a little bit more on the lemonade stand, so everyone understands what the assignment is and what we're going to be talking about. The assignment's not due yet. I'll either make it due next week, sometime like Wednesday or Friday, and you'll just email me as an attachment one page on your lemonade stand. I hope and I assume many of you will use AI to help you with your, like ChatGPT or something like that, help you with your assignment. I have no problem with that. I told you. I just want your assignment to be written in your own words. So you're going to take what you get, you're going to feed in all this information to ChatGPT, and then you're going to get all this writing back, all this beautiful writing that they're going to do for you. I want you to put it in your own words, and I want you to understand what ChatGPT has done for you. But you need to come up with the information for ChatGPT, and that's going to be your assignment, and that you can't hand off to an AI yet in this world. One day maybe you will be able to do that, but right now you're going to have to feed it the information. You're going to have to feed it how much things cost. You're going to have to feed it what type of products you're going to use. You're going to have to feed it the location of your business. You're going to have to feed it what type of marketing you're going to use for your lemonade stand. You're going to have to feed it the name that you came up with for your lemonade stand, any type of special recipes you're going to have for your lemonade stand, any other types of products you might be selling at your lemonade stand. All these types of things you're going to need to feed your ChatGPT or your AI in order for it to come back with a sort of a small one-page business plan on your lemonade stand for me to read. And that's basically what it is. It's a one-page business plan, a business plan about your lemonade stand. Now, What is a lemonade stand? A lemonade stand provides, I think, it provides comfort. It provides a drink for those in need. But you want to distinguish your lemonade stand from other lemonade stands, and that's what I'm going to be grading you on in this assignment. Is I want you to come up with something original. Now, they always say that the only thing original in the world was said to Moses on the mountain, which is the Ten Commandments, of course. But that's not necessarily true. There are many original things, but most things are based upon other things. Now, the lemonade stand itself is not original. It exists. We know about that. But I want your lemonade stand to be an original idea, something that's part of you. And this is basically going to take you to your final assignment also. Your business, whatever your business is a reflection of who you are. And I want a little bit of you in your lemonade stand. So if you come from a different country or a different locale, or you have some sort of idea that, even if you were born in Brooklyn, if you were born in Bensonhurst or in Canarsie or in Bed-Stuy, wherever you were born, I want that, maybe that would be a reflection where you were born. Maybe the lemonade stand would have something about where you were born. The name of the lemonade stand, the idea behind the type of lemonade, the type of way you're going to market it. Those types of things might fit into where you're from. Or it might be about who you are as an individual, the types of things you like, the things you don't. You may like reggae, you may like rock, you may like rap, you may like movies, you may like fashion. You may like. I'm sorry, my head explodes when I think of all the things you may like. All of you may like a million different things. Maybe the lemonade stand could be a reflection of what you like, or maybe it could be a reflection of New York, or something. Maybe it's about your ancestors. Maybe it's about your grandmother. Maybe you name it after your grandmother who you loved, who used to make you lemonade. Maybe you name it after, maybe the whole lemonade stand revolves around your daughter or your cousin or whatever. I'm just thinking outside the box. This is where you can let your imagination run away with you in terms of your business. Your business should be based upon you as a person and who you are as a person. And I will give you an example. And let me. Okay, so at Kingsborough, one of my students and one of my good friends over the years. Now he's not a student anymore. Now he's much more like a peer. Was a guy who left Kingsborough, graduated Kingsborough with my help, and went on to College of Staten Island and majored in business. Didn't do very well at Kingsborough. Didn't do very well at the College of Staten Island, but graduated. Then he went into a business that I know a little bit about, and I'll talk to you a lot about the business he went into. It was an idea that he had, and he got fired from the business he went into, and then he took an idea that he got in a dream, and he turned it into another business that made millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. Rambo, come here, Rambo. And, Rambo, come here, baby. Come here. Come on up here. My dog is, as you see, his name is Rambo. Yes, he thinks he's tough. So, come up. Come up on the couch. So, where was I? So this guy who went to Kingsborough, who was one of my students, has made quite a sum of money opening up his own business. It was a sole proprietorship, and then he got venture capital into the business, which we'll talk about later on what venture capital was. Venture capital invested in his business. His business took off, and he made more and more money, and then eventually he sold the business out. He had some issues with the government. He got rid of the business and went into 30 other businesses. He became a serial entrepreneur. And he was married, got divorced, and then he met a woman who he fell in love with, and they started a business together, a hair care business that's extraordinarily successful. I'll tell you the name later on in another video. But the hair she was a beautician, and very successful beautician. She owned her own shop with a partner, and they opened up a hair care product business, and they've expanded it. Now they do not only women's hair care products, but they do men's and men's beards and stuff like that. They're pretty much in every Walgreens, CVS, Walmart, Target, any other store you could think of. They're in pretty much every salon, hair salon that you go into. Every beauty parlor has their products. They're expensive. They've become extraordinarily successful with their hair care products. And it's really his wife's company, but he's the president of the company. She developed the hair care products. He put the money into it, and they've exploded. And he owned, they own their own private jet, their own yacht. I mean, they've done very, very well, which is, part of one area of success. It's not the only way to be successful in life. But what they did do was, and this gets back to the lemonade stand, which is they put their personality and their idea of who they are into their business. And their business became very much about them, and really more about his wife, her story as a young Latina woman beautician who started the business and really struggled and built her business herself. This is really, even the name of the company, and we'll talk about the name, was all about her. And she wanted a type of hair care product that was easy for women to use and kept their hair in a certain way and was easy for them to brush through. And I think she achieved it. And so when I say I want a piece of you in the business, that's what I mean. She used what she knew from working as a beautician to build the types of products that she felt the consumer would want. That's what I want from you. I want you to think about who your consumers are in your lemonade stand and the type of lemonade that you're going to be serving them. All right. Boy, usually when I do this in front of a class, I could talk to you guys and get some ideas and get some feedback. Here it's just me kind of like talking like this, and I don't want to bore you with what I am saying, so I'm going to keep it short today. So this is what I want you to do. We're going to be building our own lemonade stand. The next lesson, I will tell you exactly what I want from this assignment, project, whatever you call it, in terms of the lemonade stand. It's basically the foundation, the beginning, to build towards a real business plan at the end of the semester based upon a business that you're going to come up with. Okay? This is a sole proprietorship. You don't have to put this in the paper. You are the sole owner of the business. No one else. You could, as I said, you could have people working with you. It's a one day thing. So you're going to have 1 day to set up your lemonade stand and then close it down. This is the end of the business. So the business is not going to expand. You're not going to have franchises of your business. And it really is just to be, and I want it to be a little bit fun, a little bit happy. Make it something exciting. Make it something that you really like doing in terms of your lemonade stand. Make it a part of you. Now, as I told you at the very first video, I own a little piece of a small store that's very much part of who I am. I have, since the age of 20, since I was in college, smoked cigars. Now, some of you may be saying, that's not very good for you. It's like, you see all the weed shops bombing up. We don't sell marijuana. We don't sell weed. We do sell lottery tickets. But I have a cigar store where mostly men, but also women, come in and smoke cigars. It's a cigar shop and lounge. So when I say lounge, cigar shops are very much built upon the thought of social interaction. There are people who smoke cigars in solitary settings by themselves, and they think about things, and they have a they sometimes have a drink or coffee or something, and they smoke a cigar by themselves, and they contemplate life. But also, a lot of cigar smokers like to sit around and smoke cigars and talk to each other about things, about cigars, about life, and it's very much a social thing. And people ask, what kind of cigar are you smoking? How's that cigar? How's this? Sometimes they drink with their cigars, alcohol, coffee, soda, whatever it is. Sometimes they eat when they have their cigars. But at my cigar shop, there's a front room where there's chairs and so forth, with about 10 chairs in the front, nice leather chairs. And we have a large humidor to keep the cigars fresh, and cigars have to be kept humidified at a certain temperature and certain humidity. And then we have a back room, which is much more of the lounge, many more chairs. We have many of the people who come to my cigar lounge play dominoes, play poker. We have a big coffee, nice coffee setup. It's free coffee for those who are members at the cigar lounge. We have soda. We bring in food. We have large screen TVs, so we watch sports and movies and things like that. We watched the fight last weekend. That was a big fight between Canelo and Crawford. We watch football games on Sunday, and we buy cigars. Most of the cigars go for about $15 to $25 a cigar. There are some $5 cigars and things like that, and some of them are $60, $70, $80 a cigar. We have hundreds of different types of cigars at my shop, at the shop that I own with others, and it's very much a part of me. My cigar store is very much reflective of who I am, and also the partners, but it's very much a reflection of who I am as a person. I like to be social. I like, obviously, to talk a lot. I like to smoke cigars. I enjoy it. It's a very friendly. It's people of, and the one thing I do love about my cigar shop, it's people of all races, all incomes, all ethnicities, everything, race, religion. It doesn't matter in the cigar shop. We're all friends, and we care about each other, and we look in on each other, and we laugh together, and it's a great business for me. I enjoy it, especially since I'm going into retirement now. This becomes much more a part of my life, and I like this type of business for me. And I chose a business specifically not to be rich, because I could have chosen a business where I would make more money, but I don't think I could have chosen a business where I would be happier. So, with your lemonade stand, I'd like it to be a reflection of you. Now, you may not choose lemonade as your type of business, but at the end of the semester, when you do your final paper for me, you will choose a business that's a reflection of you. And that's very much like who you are. And we will build that business based upon who you are. Okay? And that's a very interesting thing to do, because some of you have to do some deep reflection about who you are. Am I this type of person? Am I that type of person? Is this the type of... Do I like this type of business? Do I want to do this type of business? I don't want to do any business. Now, there was a time in my life, I worked for a lot of companies when I was younger, and I decided that I didn't want to work for a company anymore, because a lot of the jobs did not give you a guaranteed salary every 2 weeks. A lot of the jobs are based upon performance and sales. And I wanted a job very much that would give me health insurance and a paycheck every 2 weeks. That's why I chose teaching and being a professor. I was very happy doing this. I get a lot of pleasure out of being a professor. I also get a lot of pleasure about getting a paycheck every 2 weeks. Am I a business success? Yes, because I feel like I've given my life to a lot of my students over the years, and I think I've done very well, and I think they've done very well, and I think on a scale, I think they've done well, I've done well, and I felt like I've been a success. So I leave you now today with the thought that I will put up another video. I will put up your assignment. Remember, I'm going to put up your reading assignment, page 2 through 11. And I will put up your lemonade stand assignment. Probably today's Tuesday. Probably put it up by Thursday, and give you a date sometime next week. Just going to be one page typed. Put it as an attachment on an email and send it to me. If you haven't already contacted me, remember, get in touch with me so I know who you are, so that I don't drop you from the class. I want you to be in this class. I want you to do well this semester. I'm going to sign out now because I can go on and on and on and on. Have a great day. Speak with you soon.